Shalom. Before I begin, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Kakudash, as a bonus to the apostles and elders of the millstone. Shalom to the I keep teaching his word throughout the four corners in true sincerity. Back on the lesson through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and Lord willing to be edifying. Lord willing to be edifying unto the elect. Alright, and the topic, basically going into how, Yahushua is coming, to conquer. Really referencing the Revelation 6 and 2, as it says that he went forth conquering and to conquer. Alright. Who is Yahushua going to conquer? Because when you go into the word conquer, it means to defeat. Alright, and when I speak of Yahushua, I'm talking about the Son of God, who the world calls Jesus. It's not his name, it's Yahushua, which means he saves or he delivers. And the name of God is not just God, it's Yahweh in Hebrew, which means he is or he exists. Okay? And Yahweh is going to send Yahushua actually to conquer, the heathens. Alright, because the Lord has enemies. Alright, the Lord has enemies. Who are the enemies? These heathens. Starting with Esau, Edom. Alright, starting with Esau, Edom, who was the so-called, Caucasians, the so-called, white man, is the number one enemy, towards, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Alright. When you read Psalms 83, alright, the first nation mentioned is literally Edom, Esau, Edom. Alright, Psalms 83, 1, it says, a song or psalm of Asaph, keep not thou silence, O power, hold not thy peace, be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Okay, so this proves that the Lord has enemies. And also proves and cuts what Christians be saying, that the Most High loves everybody. If this was the case, the Lord wouldn't have no enemies. Alright. If it was all just about love and the kumbaya, alright, anybody could call on the name of the Lord, that's not the case. Okay, because as it said, they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Okay, it says they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hated ones. And the main reasons why there are, the Lord enemies, because they have, one of the reasons is that they have come against, the Israelites. Okay, the scriptures call us, alright, we are, let me get it, and Zechariah 2:8, it says, for thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, meaning the Lord of armies. Because Yahushua return, he's not coming by himself. Okay, he's going to return with an army. It says, after the glory that he sent me unto the nations, which spoiled you. For he that touched you touched the apple of his eye. Alright, if you ever heard the saying, the apple of my eye, alright, showing favoritism. How precious, somebody is. That's how the Lord is, with us. And these nations, starting with Esau, Edom, have, touched, us. Okay? The scripture's talking about in Isaiah, or not even Isaiah, how, Esau, Edom, okay, how he furthered, the flip. Let me get it. It's about that, right? Where is that? It was Zechariah up further forward. It's like it says, Zechariah 1, And start at 14 says, so the angel communed with me, said unto me, cried out, saying, thus say the Lord Yahweh of hosts, I'm jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with a great jealousy, and I am very so displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but yet a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction, right? So, they helped forward the affliction, because even though the Lord had put us into their hands, all right, scriptures talk about how, they ain't show no mercy in Isaiah. Okay, so when Yahweh ultimately does come through, when Yahweh ultimately does come through to defeat these heathens, there is a reason, for it. Okay. Like in Psalms 83 and 3 again, it says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and have consulted against thy hidden ones. So these nations ultimately have come up together, okay, against, us. Actually, they have come and said, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. So these nations have come together, devised against us, to forward, the affliction, all right, through rap music, all right, through the food that we eat, through, the economy, all right, economically, mentally, all right, they have, made plans to come up against us, generational things that they've done against the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, things that, can't, be reversed, but only by Yahweh Shema Shai. So these are things they have to pay for, and also because of the, the blood of the prophets, right? They have shed the blood of, the men of Yahweh Shema Shai. It says, as I was saying, it says they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against you. So even though these nations are really not even friends with each other, but for the sake of coming against us, all right, they are able to do it. All right, they have a like the saying. It says the enemy of my enemy is my friend, which it probably came from them wicked ass heathens. Okay, because they don't really fuck with each other, but because they don't fuck with us, they have come together, to try to put us down. It said the tabernacles of Edom. See, tabernacles of Edom. All right. The first one, the Ishmaelites of Moab and Hagareans. So, these different nations, all right, have come together, starting with Esau, Edom, to come up against us. Nigga, the list goes on. All right. So Lord is not, wrong for coming to defeat them. All right. It's rightfully so. All right. The Lord is a righteous judge. He doesn't do things without a reason. Okay. Especially when it comes to, defending his nation and his name as well, because it's not only what they did to us, but also what they did, to the Lord. Iconoclasts are whitewashing the images, painting the Lord to be a so-called white man, and etc., changing the doctrine. All right, downplaying the Lord, being proud, and etc. Things like that. And that other things as well. That's only just a little less of what he has to pay for, right? Revelation 6:2. And I saw him, behold, a white horse, and he that sat on had a bow, and the crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering to conquer. So when Yahushua ultimately does return with the host of heaven, with the various chariots, all right, he's going to conquer them, defeat them, all right, destroy, all right, America, and take these heathens out of, or take Esau, Edom out of powership, and not give a chance for these heathens to have a seat up next to rule, all right, with the chariots. All right, the Lord's coming with Yahushua's coming with the fathership, all right, with that concentrated fire from the chariots, to defeat them. All right. All right, because she was talking about it, Zephaniah 3:8. So therefore wait ye upon me, said the Lord Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to guide the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour out mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. Right, the Lord is angry. All right, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Right, so again, the Lord is angry, and because of his anger, he's going to guide these nations in the Middle East and the Valley of Jehoshaphat. All right, that's why you see the river of Euphrates, drying up, because the Lord is, setting the stage, all right, to judge, all right, these heathens to take down their armies. All right. You know, but that alone is that's what's edifying. I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Bashim, Al-Shah, Bashim, Kakwadash, and the bonus to the apostles, and elders, great millstone, and Shalom to the I can teach this word, the four corners, and true sincerity. Y'all keep us out of here. Shalom.